Okay, so I tried to do this video one time already, and it wasn't submitting on Schoology, so I'm gonna try to shorten it down to at least 5 to 6 minutes. I had a 9 minute video. Excuse me. So to sum up my last 3 years in high school in carpentry, and a few months that I was in the program, the co-op program, it was an eye opener. Some prior knowledge before I really get into what I have to say, and I'm gonna try to keep it, relatively short and like understanding, like explaining everything in detail, but keep it in a time frame. Before high school started, in middle school, 8th grade, I was applying to high school. I didn't know what high school was between Christian and Newark, which I didn't want to go to. And then a family friend of mine who went to St. George's, he suggested I go to St. George's. They have a very good carpentry program because I showed an interest in working with my hands, and as you can see, I talk with my hands a lot. So he said that since you like working with your hands and you're more of a hands-on learner, you feel like you get things done better with your hands. Why not go into this school, take up carpentry? You could work with your hands, build with your hands, and really go on from there. So I applied for St. George's, being the one school I applied to, which was very risky, but I got in. And fast forward to freshman year in career and transition, I applied for carpentry as my number one choice. And fast forward to spring break, I got a letter in the mail saying, you got accepted into carpentry. And I was happy. The high school that I applied for, I got into. My first choice shop, I got into. And now we come to 10th grade year. 10th grade year, it, it, it was a lot. I learned all the basics of carpentry, like how to read a measuring tape, how to joint wood, how to rip the wood, how to plane wood down to certain length, like certain thicknesses, like 3/4, a half inch, a quarter of an inch, and stuff like that. The basics. I forget what it's called, the exact word. Like there's that thing that is called. But when we took the little white ruler and we was drawing, like the measurements and all that, I forget what that was called, but I learned how to do that. Fast forward to 10th grade year, or 11th grade year, before I got cut shortly due to COVID, we were learning how to do houses. More, it wasn't really a house, but it was like the basic structure for a house. We learned how to do a wall. We start the first stud, 15 1/4. Once we hit that second stud, 16 all the way to the end. If the wall's 15 foot, 15 1/4, the first stud, 15 1/4, 16, 16, until we reach the end. And obviously measurements change, what you gotta do changes once you get doors and windows and incorporate all that. But that's 11th grade got cut short. I couldn't finish the house that I started, and I couldn't take it back down, which was really sad, but it is what it is. Fast forward, 12th grade year, co-op, senior year, final year. I'm ready to start going out to the real world. My expectations were low. Like I didn't really think it was gonna be too much. I thought it was gonna be like school, like I'm sitting down just watching these people. It wasn't that at all. I had to wake up at 4:50, be out the house by 5:45, be there by 6, and get right to work. And I did that every single time. Like other 2 weeks out of the month, I did that every single time. I would get there at 6 and get off at 3. And for 5 days straight, I had to do that. And it was like it was something completely different to me. Where I left off in school, we were doing houses. And then I started doing stairs at this company, which was really good because I understand that not all carpentry is going to be the same. So I have to learn to adapt myself to learn this, learn that, and learn that. So when I, go out into the real world, I have all these, types of different skills when it comes to carpentry. And towards the end, before I had to leave, as you know, Mr. Hinton, I had to leave. And it gave me the realization that carpentry is something that I want to do, and I see myself doing in the future. Like, I applied for Del Tech, which is probably the leading school that I go to. I applied for 3 schools in New York. I applied for one school in PA, and I also plan on taking the union test again and passing this time so I can get into the union, get all the union benefits, and really, set myself up for success. And what you poured into me these last 3 years of high school, it really stuck with me. I really understand it. Like, I have a whole better understanding about like the things that come with carpentry. Like just the basics of carpentry, and I really see myself taking this further down, like doing this like the full time basically. And that's really it for my final. Just explaining my last 3 years in carpentry, the few months in co-op, and it was just a very good eye opener. And now I know that this is what I want to do in my future. I foresee myself doing that. And thank you for teaching me, sticking with me. I know you believed in me, and I believed in myself. I Graduation's almost there, and without you and all my other teachers, it wouldn't have been possible, and especially my grandma. So I will see you on the 26th, and then I'll see you graduation.